over on LinkedIn, and we're also streaming over onto our YouTube channel. So wherever you're tuning in from, please do say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know who you are. My name is Rebecca Daniel. I am one of the co-founders of the Coaching Catalyst. So you'll often see me with my business partner and friend, Sarah Bramall, and we run a supervision and coach development service. Now, we are really excited because over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking all about supervision. We talk about supervision non-stop anyway, but what we're going to be doing even more special is we're going to be showcasing our supervisors and our supervisees too. So I'm going to bring on Ali Hendry into the room in a second. And Ali has been supervising with us for her first cohort, so we're coming to 6 months now. And what we're going to be learning about Ali is a bit more about Ali, who she is, her lead into supervision, what she loves about supervision, and all the things that you want to know to decide on whether Ali is the supervisor for you. So I'm going to unpin myself from the screen. Woohoo! And
Hello.
welcome Ali into the room. Ali, welcome. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday to you and to everyone who is here in the space or watching the replay. Lovely to be here.
It's true, yeah. Might have some replayers. So yeah, if you can comment replay, then we'll know who's watched this later. And Riverside has given us this special link as well. So if you're watching over on LinkedIn or over on YouTube and you're like, I really want to ask Ali or Rebecca, myself, some questions, click on the link and it means that you can come into the audience room. Ooh, very fancy. And ask us some questions directly, or you can do it the good old-fashioned way and just drop it in the comments, and Ali and I will be sure to keep an eye on that over the next week or so. So, Ali, this is all about you, showcasing you as the incredible supervisor that you are. But I think if they haven't listened to the podcast episode, let's rewind and let's start again. And if you haven't listened to Ali on the podcast, go to the Coaching Catalyst podcast and you'll look at the most recent episodes and you've got a full-on conversation there with Ali to learn a bit more about her. But Ali, tell us a bit about you.
Oh, where shall I start? Well, I love coaching. I am a kind of course queen when it comes to learning about coaching and being in the bones of coaching. And I realized that over the years I've always been doing a form of coaching, whether that's been in my sort of previous full-time life, which was working as an inclusion consultant and trainer with the public, private, voluntary and military sector, traveling up and down the country and beyond. Where I was doing leadership training and also bringing in coaching skills. But it wasn't until I started formally training that I fell in love with it so much, and fell in love with supervision as well. And in fact, supervision was my way in to being an ICF coach, because I had a supervisor, a career coach, who had done marvelous things with me. And I was like, I want to get me some of that. I love that. Yeah, this is amazing stuff. So I talked to her about her journey, and she was an ICF coach. And she said, start there, have a look at the ICF website, look at what's available, look at the providers, work out what you want from a training course. And it just grew from there, really.
So that's really interesting because I didn't know that about you. So you'd been in receipt of supervision before entering into coaching, and it was that kind of inspired you to get into it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. And what was it? I know you said you wanted a bit more of that, but what was it about that supervision experience that made you go, like what was that moment?
I think it was the depth, because my coach was one of supervision now is something that we talk about quite a lot, and of course from last year the ICF core competencies now mention that supervision is something that should be seriously considered, which we've not had to that level in the ICF core competencies before. And my coach way back then was one of the few who had trained as a coach supervisor, and I think she'd done it through EMCC, which is the sort of the European version of the ICF. So she was very keen. She was very interested in models. She was very up for trying different things. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I work in education anyway, so practice on me. I'll be your guinea pig. So it was from that side of things that I kind of really enjoyed the way I didn't know long term that I was going to go into doing the supervision. I knew I was going to end up doing the coaching, but it was a kind of, it was a sort of backwards forwards way of doing it. And it was the depth, to answer your question. It was the way that we were going into looking at things from the front, from the back, from upside down, from on the top, all the ways, instead of perhaps sometimes as coaches we might approach a client, I don't know if this is making any sense, but just from the what's happening in the space, let me ask you some questions. Whereas with supervision, we're looking at what's happening in the space, what's happening with me, what's happening in my body, what's happening. I mean, we do group supervision, what's happening with the energy that's around us. At the beginning of the sessions, the supervision sessions, I know we'll talk more about this in a minute, but for my supervision sessions, there is a large part of a group supervision session that is spent getting us into the space and working together as a unit. And I use oracle cards. So at the beginning, I've got this wonderful pack of oracle cards, and I pull a card and we discuss what's coming up for that person in the group. We all go around and do the sort of the bonding landing space. And so not only are we looking at what's present, we're looking at what might be present, or what could be underlying, what could be in our souls or in our hearts or in the energetic space that anyone creates when they're in commune with other people.
There's so much complexity, right, in supervision, and I don't think that that's appreciated unless you are in it. And unless you've been trained like yourself and I have, and unless you're conducting it and kind of just seeing what's happening like in the room or not happening in the room, or what might be happening. There's so much to it, isn't there? And I love that you've touched on your take on your approach in supervision, because that's something that I hear from the supervisees that are with you, is that they love that you facilitate the space with difference, and that's really important, because I think no supervisor is the same or should be the same. There's no one way to do it, one way to facilitate. There's multiple ways, and I think that's what we loved about you, was your uniqueness in supervision and just as a human, actually, in general. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. So let's rewind before we go forward. So you experienced supervision, trained as a coach, and can we just also acknowledge that you didn't just train as a coach? You're at MCC now, so you've done a lot of coaching, a lot of training hours to get to where you are. Then you went into training as a supervisor. I'm pausing here just at this moment. What is it about coaching and supervision for you?
I think the main thing that I love about coaching and supervision is that we believe our clients are whole and complete and have all the answers. Nobody is broken. Nobody is missing something. What we're doing is uncovering and discovering what's going on for our client. And so and it's holistic as well. We have the ability to be working on mind, body, and spirit, or soul. And that means that we're also looking at things like somatics and the place of our own body as a source, whether we're supervising or coaching, and being able to tune into, in the minute, reflexive check-ins. What is happening in my body right now as this client or as this supervisee is talking about this? Where am I going? Where are they going? And how do I maintain that connection while also being autonomous? It's that differentiation word that they use in psychology. How can I feel connected to you and separate? How can I and Brené Brown talks about that as empathy. She says true empathy is when I can hold me and you, when I can see the distance between me and you. If I can't hold me and you, then I'm merging. And we don't want to merge. Some of us do it in our relationships. We try not to. We sometimes have the urge to merge, and that happens. Whereas and actually in the LGBTQ, if I'm dating somebody, I'm a lesbian, so I'm dating another woman, there is this whole stereotype about the urge to merge. And sometimes it is a fight to make sure that you have your own wardrobe. If you want to, you don't have to, you can share each other's clothes if you want to. So making sure that you've got that autonomy and also you are connected, because we are in relationship when we're with our clients and our supervisees. We're always in relationship.
And that obviously will influence and impact on the way that you are as a supervisor, the way that you hold space as a coach, like the way that you facilitate, what you see, what you notice. And I also don't think we've added there your background and what you're doing now. So we've spoken about kind of how you've got into it, but you specialize in relationship coaching, right? And so you've spoken a lot. There's words there that you've used about connection, around relation, and I can hear that feeding into the work that you're doing around somatics and how we're feeling in our body. How does that connect into the work that you're doing, the work that you do as a coach, into the work that you do as a supervisor?
Yeah. I mean, as you've put your finger on it, it's all about relationships. And when I was working out what areas I wanted to niche in, I knew that it was going to be relationship coaching, mainly romantic relationship coaching, romantic and sexual relationship coaching, because that, when I looked over at my bookshelf, when I look over at my bookshelves, it's full of memoirs about people's lives. It's full of, relationship journals and relationship workbooks and self-help workbooks all around relationships. So I knew that was something that I was going to go into, and being able to work either with individuals or with duos. I tend to say duos rather than couples, because I work with monogamous and non-monogamous people, so all different types of relationship love styles. And so working with duos is amazing, working with throuples is amazing. It's group work. And because I'd spent 15 plus years delivering training and facilitating, my facilitation skills, people say to me, well, what's the transition going from working with one person and working with a duo? It's facilitation skills. It's building up your facilitation skills, because not only are you coaching, not only are you helping them help themselves, not only are you partnering with them as a coach, I always use the analogy of sitting alongside them in their car. It's their car, you're in the passenger seat, you're helping them move forwards as they, by using your intuition and your questioning skills. So we are doing that. When there's more than one client there, we are also facilitating. We're holding the space. We're looking at, that person's gone quiet. That person's body language has changed. There's some kind of shift. Interesting, that word has landed in a certain way. So we are working on a collaborative environment constantly, whether that's a duo or a group. So so I always say, if you're wanting to do duo coaching, that's the muscle that needs to be talked about. And I'm developing I've got an advanced relationship coach course, ICF course, which will be launching later this year, and that talks about facilitation and goes into that as well. And I also have a ICF relationship coach diploma, which is 40 CCEs, which runs 4 times a year, and that's just great fun as well. Really small, 8 people, intimate group of people, and we go through everything in 2 months, and people pop out as relationship coaches. So to answer your question, being able to nerd off relationship stuff all the time and see how any kind of business relationships, friendships, family, children, any sort of relationship, we can see the themes: trust, boundaries, repair, rupture and repair. all the topics that you think of when you are thinking about a romantic relationship come into any relationships.
Yeah. And you said something there that's really important, is that your experience as a facilitator means that you're able to hold that, hold all of the complexities, hold the differences, hold the space, facilitate in a way that's, I guess, conducive for the group. Because it's not easy, is it? It's not easy to facilitate 6 or 8 different personalities in one space, but I know that you get as much joy from it as I do, which is why we do what we do. So you've been with us, as I said, we'll come into 6 months, right? And you've been facilitating a group which is currently full. But if you are interested in working with Ali, then I'm sure that we can make some things work and put on another group, Ali, can't we? But what is it about supervising in the catalysts with our lovely catalyst supervisees that brings you joy?
As you were saying, asking that question, I don't know if people saw on the tape or heard, but I just breathed in
You
and then
did, I
breathed out
saw.
very slowly.
Yeah.
And it's such, that's it. If my body was saying, what is it? It helps me that the structures that you as a team and as an organization have got in place are second to none. So feeling held, feeling supported, having observations done on me, which I've never had before in all these years, has been an absolute joy, because how on earth can I continue to grow if I'm not being observed and being given feedback? So everything that you had in place, the way that you onboard the supervision team, I was taking over a group that had been working together for quite some time. There were one or two new people. So they had a way of being, and the way that it was explained to them, the way that I felt I was able to bring, like you said before, bring my full self and not feel like I needed to follow a script, of course, within the structure of what the Coaching Catalyst stand for and your values and your beliefs and your business acumen. Those, of course, I'm going to be aligned with. So for me, if I was to summarize it, I love to be free, and also I love to be organized. And I have both of those things. I have a structure. Your team, your admin team are fantastic. They're spot on. They check in at the beginning, they check in the end. And then also for me to be able to fly in the session. Great. I love it.
It's so important because I like structure, but I also crave freedom and autonomy. So when you're running a business, right, you want to go, is it going okay? Like, because I always want to be on a fly on everyone's room. I always want to know what's going on in the supervision space. But of course, we know that we protect the privacy and confidentiality of each space. But what I love about working with you is that we know that the supervisors go into your space and they benefit greatly from it. That's really important. And you're right, like seeing you in action in the observations kind of gives us the reassurance that everything's running smoothly. And what I also love is that we don't cramp your style, right? Like I think you asked this at the very beginning. You were like, is there a specific way that I need to facilitate? And we were like, no, just do it your way, right?
Yeah.
Just do it your way, because what one person will resonate with you, they might not resonate with somebody else. And that's the autonomy of choice is really important, isn't it? Like who you choose to be your supervisor is a really important decision to make.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that you and Sarah both have this growth mindset in terms of, yes, you are our leaders. And also,
don't say it like that, Ali. You are our leaders.
And also, you create these meetings and these events, and the live event, which we can talk about. Which, if anyone's coming to the live event, can't wait to meet you all in real life. If I haven't met you in real life from last year's event that I went to, you provide an opportunity, I feel, and I'm sure the others. I can only speak for me, but I feel that I can give you suggestions. I can say, oh, how about this? Or look at this, or this is changing. I mean, ICF has had a overhaul when it comes to supervision and mentoring, and Nerd Me has been keeping up with all of that. And so it's been great to be able to say, hey, I wonder if we need to be doing this. I wonder if there's something around this that Coaching Catalyst can have a conversation with as we, because you've got your great diploma, your supervision diploma as well. So I've never felt that I couldn't ask you a question without there being any kind of sort of defensiveness, which some people do, right? I mean, you work with some companies and they're like, no, we don't do that like this. No, that's not us. No, well, thank you, and no, thank you. Whereas here, it is a team. You have created a team, and I certainly feel that when we have our supervisors meetings as well.
We only grow together, right? And we obviously know that we all hold different levels of information. So if we can support each other, it just only has a positive impact on the community that we're supporting, right? And so we thank you again for your openness, for your honesty, and for sharing all of the knowledge that you know, because we're just going to soak it all up, Ali, because it will benefit everybody else.
Exactly.
So, as we begin to wrap up this conversation, what's one thing that you would say? And I know I say one thing, and that's always hard. So, what's one thing, if you want to break the rules and go for two things, that's fine, that you would say to a coach that's thinking about embarking on supervision with the catalysts? What would you say to them in terms of that decision making process?
Supervision should be a non-negotiable when it comes to you as a coach. And that's you as a coach and your responsibility with your clients, with growing your business, with your personal development. You know, I talk to people who have never had supervisors and who are not affiliated to any organization, and they're just out there coaching, and they're not attached to anything or anyone. And where is the accountability? Where is the opportunity for somebody to say, I'm wondering if that's a habit that you've got into around that coaching side of things. I've had a coach supervisor. I had a coach supervisor for 2 years. I've got a second coach supervisor. I would have supervision every week if I could afford it. I really, really would. I have it once a month, sometimes more, particularly if I'm working with duos or throuples where there's lots of relationship dynamics flying around. This is your support for you. This is you taking responsibility, because you are your business. Who else is going to say to you, who else is going to ask you questions about what do you do just before? There was I don't know, some funny skit that I saw about therapists working at home. And there was this one skit where this woman was kind of like 1 minute before the session was about to start, she was sitting in her front room on her phone scrolling, and then it was suddenly like, oh, the session. So you see her racing across the house, grabbing her water, quickly putting something on that looks a little bit more, professional, running into her office, sitting down. And I mean, who else is going to be actually asking you, how's that serving you? How's that serving your clients? So every single part of what you do as a coach requires attention and feedback and support. And so I would say you all need supervision. And that's not me selling it to you. That's just me saying, just try it.
That's it.
Try it.
Give it a go. Because it's one thing, often I hear people going, oh, I didn't know it was what I needed until I had it. That's a very common thing.
Yes, very common.
Now I've got it.
Yes.
I don't think I could be without it.
And if you want a kind of a differentiation, it always gets confused with mentoring. Mentoring is helping you to do the coaching. It is helping you. I mean, in ICF terms, your mentor is looking at your recordings and giving you guidance on the ICF core competencies so that you can coach at either level 1, level 2, or level 3. Very specific, very tuned into doing coaching. What supervision is about is being a coach, embodying a coach, having accountability. I know I keep mentioning that. It is about accountability, because how else? You can just go out there and be a solopreneur and do your own thing. So it's about embodying that coaching mindset. And yes, your coach is cognizant of the competencies and the bits and pieces that you need to be doing. And they're also panning back and asking you questions that help you look at, why am I doing that? And even on business advice, business advice is in there, case studies is in there. When I went for my PCC before my MCC, I was sitting on my laurels for months and months, and my supervisor was just like, why is this PCC not happening? And I was like, yeah, I've done everything. I just need to send it all off. Nobody else is going to do that. And also it can be lonely. Even if you're working in a business as a coach, you can still feel quite lonely, and your supervisor gets it. Your supervisor will go, yes, that was a win. They'll understand when you talk about some kind of balmy, nerdy thing that you did in a coaching session, and they'll be like, yeah, And you know they get it. And of course, we know that when you're celebrating, that your cells change and that you're able to grow from that celebration and that recognition of stuff you've done well. Big fan, might have spotted.
Big fan. And on that note, Ali, thank you so much. First of all, for giving up your time here and on the podcast, and then the facilitation that you do for us and the Catalysts, and for coming to the events, and for sharing your knowledge. Like, you're a big contributor to our team. So it's been really nice to have you in the last 6 months, and I'm hoping that that will continue. So I am going to say farewell to Ali now, and not for long though, Ali. We'll probably see you again like next week or something. But farewell to Ali on the live now, and then I will do a little speech before I end this. But thank you so much, Ali. And actually, before I say farewell, if anyone wants to connect with you, I know we're streaming over onto LinkedIn. They can find you at Ali Hendry. Is there any other links that you want to direct people to?
So website is alihendry.co.uk, because I'm in the UK, and that's where you'll find all the links to all the bits and bobs. So alihendry.co.uk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Take care.
Bye. Okay, so we've just finished our live with Ali Hendry, who is one of our associate supervisors in the Coaching Catalyst Collective. We are getting ready to open doors to our group supervision service. We open doors twice a year. We open doors to start for a July cohort and for a January cohort. Ali started our January cohort, as she said there. She took over an existing group, and her group is currently full, but we're looking to put on another group as well, should the interest be there to work with Ali. She's an incredible supervisor. Our team are incredible supervisors. So what I would love to signpost you all to now is, first of all, if you're thinking about supervision, just comment supervision or send me a DM and let's talk about it. If you're not too sure yet and you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure about supervision, you might be new to supervision, you might be currently in supervision or looking for a new supervisor, we're hosting an absolutely free experience week next week from the 11th to the 15th of May in celebration of International Coaching Week. It's my favourite time of the year. We've got over 100 coaches signed up already to join us. Last year, I think we had about 190. Each year, it's from coaches from all around the world, doing what we love best, talking about coaching, talking about supervision, talking about coach development, and talking about all the wonderful work and the impact that we do as coaches, as professional coaches. So I'm going to drop the link in the comments below. Sign up for the free workshop week. It's 3 workshops, 1 masterclass, and 1 super connector networking session on Friday the 15th, and it's not to be missed. If you can't make everything, then replays will be available for everything except for the session on Friday, the connection session. And if you only attend one thing, attend the masterclass on the 14th of May, and it will definitely be one that you don't want to be missed. All right, that's it from me. Sarah will be live tomorrow doing some more showcases, and until then,